Hello there, welcome to my views on news. Two new stories from Ethiopia. Firstly, we have been waiting for Ethiopian official position about the ongoing war in the Middle East between Israel and Palestine. We have seen statements from Arab countries, US, EU, all taking positions. Ethiopia was silent, but yesterday Ethiopia took a position. Meles Alam spoke. What is Ethiopian official position? Is it that of a neutral country, or is Ethiopia inclining towards diplomatic support for one of the parties? Secondly, viewers, alarming news story from Amhara region where a major hospital was closed on Wednesday because of a fighting between Fano fighters and Ethiopian military. What happened there? Why was the hospital closed by health professionals? What happened there? Did Fano enter hospital? By the way, there was fighting close to hospital reportedly. Firstly, viewers, last Saturday witnessed the start of a war between Israel and Palestinian armed groups. Since then, we have been seeing fighting in the Middle East, deadly airstrikes being conducted on Gaza by Israeli Air Force. Thousands of airstrikes have been conducted so far on Gaza. Gaza, densely populated, small strip of land, surrounded by Israel, Mediterranean Sea and Egypt. Hamas, other Palestinian fighters, they are firing rockets from Gaza into neighboring Israeli towns and cities. Around more than 3,000 have been killed on both sides so far, and number of injured would be less than 10,000 so far. So it's a deadly escalation, and it could turn into a regional escalation too, as we are seeing tensions on Israel-Lebanon border, Israel-Syria border too. And yesterday there were clashes between protesters, Jordanian protesters and Jordanian military on Jordan-Israel border. So this conflict in the Middle East has the potential of spreading into neighboring countries. So Ethiopia has been silent, Eritrea has been silent since last Saturday about the conflict. We have been seeing statements from Arab countries, EU, US, taking positions, calling for de-escalation, some supporting Israeli government, some condemning Israeli government. So different countries took different positions. Two African countries silent, though African Union issued a statement on Sunday, I think. And we heard from Israeli ambassador to Ethiopia. In an interview, he asked Ethiopian government to condemn the attack on Israeli forces and Israeli civilians by Palestinian fighters, including Hamas. But no condemnation came from Ethiopia. And then Ethiopian ambassador to Israel spoke, saying that his country called for a resolution to the conflict. But still we are waiting for official position. Meles Alam is Ethiopian Foreign Ministry spokesperson, and he spoke a few hours ago, and their questions were asked about the Ethiopian government's position about the conflict between Israel and Palestinian fighters. Meles Alam very clearly said that Ethiopia supports two-state solution. Ethiopian position is not new position. It has always been Ethiopian government's position that the resolution to the conflict in the Middle East lies in the creation of two sovereign states, Palestinian state and Israeli state. And no condemnation. Meles Alam did not condemn attacks by Palestinian fighters on Israeli forces civilians or Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, in which Hamas fighters civilians all are dying. other Palestinian groups as well. So Ethiopian government is backing African Union's statement. African Union, when it spoke on Sunday, called for protection of rights of all civilians, especially for the protection of rights of Palestinians. And African Union on a Sunday called for two-state solution to end the conflict. So indirectly, we can say African Union stood with Palestine. It did not support Israel. We're seeing strong statements in support of Israel from EU, from US. But on this issue, in Africa, there are divisions. African Union, representative body of African countries, wants to be neutral, but it is inclining towards support for diplomatic position of Palestine, not Israel. And though there are some countries in Africa who condemned Hamas's attacks on Israel, like Kenya, some others too. But overall, since Arab countries have their ties, they have influence in Africa, so we are seeing that Ethiopia, Africa Union, other countries, they are not condemning attacks by Palestinian fighters on Israel-controlled settlements. They're not condemning Israel too. As Israel is bombarding Gaza, people are dying there. So this is official Ethiopian position now. The request by Israeli ambassador to Ethiopia that Ethiopia should condemn Palestinian groups' attacks, it went unanswered by Ethiopian government. I think Eritrean government would take a similar position too, though we are waiting for some statements from the Eritrean government. And we know that some opposition groups are supporting Israel. Brigade Nehemda members are actively participating in humanitarian activities to support Israeli civilians. We have shared several videos showing Brigade Nehemda opposition members raising funds, raising food items, supplies for the people of Israel. They are in Israel, so they are supporting the people of their country. But governments, it seems, Ethiopian governments, they would not support Israel openly, it seems. Secondly, viewers, Bahir Dar, Amhara regional capital, where major hospital was closed on Wednesday. It has been confirmed now through several sources. It has been confirmed. What happened in Bahir Dar? Bahir Dar has been relatively peaceful because a few weeks ago, Fano fighters retreated from Bahir Dar. They were in parts of Bahir Dar. They never managed to control entire Bahir Dar. It is regional capital. Amhara regional president, Amhara regional council are based here. And Fano fighters back then tried to reach Bahir Dar airport. They could not. So Bahir Dar has been under military control, but Fano fighters have their presence here. I reported about fighting close to Sabatamit prison 2 days ago. There was heavy fighting in the outskirts of Bahir Dar, in Adet as well. Overall, Bahir Dar has been under pressure because Fano fighters are all around Bahir Dar. Report about Bahir Dar major hospital, which was closed on Wednesday. Fighting erupted close to Bahir Dar hospital on Wednesday. A convoy of Ethiopian military was on its way, but it was ambushed. Fano fighters who were stationed somewhere there, they carried out an attack on ENDF convoy, which was on its way close to the hospital, Bahir Dar teaching hospital. Security forces, and after that, hospital came under attack too, because the fighting was very close to hospital. Military officials, military members, the ENDF members, they entered hospital to chase. They were chasing Fano fighters, and they thought Fano fighters were being treated in the hospital. They entered hospital. They started checking patients. They beat some health professionals. Health professionals, then they closed their activities. They closed the hospital. Military remained in hospital for some time. All operations had to be suspended. All healthcare activities suspended. Fighting went on for several hours close to the hospital. Some healthcare providers were injured in this attack. Some were beaten by military. In protest and because of the fighting close to the hospital, doctors decided to suspend the activities there. The hospital was closed on Wednesday. So it is being confirmed now. This is Bahir Dar, a regional capital. I am not talking about some rural area of a small village. I'm talking about regional capital where Fano fighters and military fought close to one of the major hospitals in Amhara region. People still say that nothing is happening in the Amhara region. I think people want to see Tigray type war to be convinced that there is a big escalation in the Amhara region. It won't happen because the strategy adopted by Fano fighters is different. You'll never see large scale offensives on cities in Amhara like we saw in Tigray. It won't happen here. They have formed strategies, they have chalked out plans, learning from what Tigray fighters did in terms of mistakes. They don't want to launch big attacks involving artillery, tanks, etc. They want to operate like a guerrilla force. They want to be mobile. They want to carry out attacks, control cities, retreat if they come under pressure, and return. And that is what they are doing. And through this strategy, they have made the entire Amhara region destabilized. More than 1,000 businesses closed, according to Araga Kabbede, the Amhara president, 2 days ago. He confirmed that. If there is no conflict, then why is that thousands of businesses have been closed in the Amhara region? There is conflict, big conflict, believe me. It's a big conflict. But the nature of this conflict is different. It's not like Tigray, but it is having a devastating effect on regional economy, federal economy as well. Thank you for watching.